telling you. So this is Gil. So this is August 11th, 2021. So seems like we had already found a house. So we were able to find a new home. It's like gonna be over in Kendall, in the Kendall University Street area. That's where it's gonna be at, in that area. So yeah, so I guess escrow started on their new house, but the escrow's still on this one. So we still gotta finish up, and it's an estimate about a month from now, or it could be as early as at the end of this month that we move out, So we'll be here another month. So while we're at it, I'm going through more stuff again. I again going through everything to confirm if I can find anything I want to get rid of about these totes. I have like 12 of these, but I want to buy like more of them. I want to buy probably at least 4 more so I could put stuff so I could put things that I want to permanently store, like my video cassette collection. Instead of these like cardboard boxes, I want to put them in here. That way it's neat rather than having all these different sized and different conditioned and different like boxes. Instead of having these unprofessional looking cardboard boxes, I just want to have all these. That's what I want to do. I want to buy at least 4 more of these, at least. So yeah, I tell you, if you want to know what my mind looks like, this is it right here. Clutter. Now this is what I'm trying to fix. I'm trying to fix this in my mind, and that's what gets my head spinning, or it's like my head is spinning. It's not good, not literally the clutter in this garage, but just the clutter in my mind with all the things that's in my mind, like all the things that we need to do, and all these different things that's in my mind, because we come at an age and time when it becomes overwhelming to us, when we have so much in our minds, like bills or this and that, everything, like we want to escape all that, Well, in this case, like the house buying process and stuff, like all the things that I have to do, to get the escrow going, all the paperwork that we need to go through, and of course the stress in my mind, or the thought in my mind is everything gonna be okay with the buyer? Are they not gonna back out, whatever? Or is everything gonna be okay on our part? Like it's a lot of hurdles, and that can put a lot of stress on me, like anxiety on me, Well, anyway, I guess this is some of the things that Jenny Lynn wants to get rid of, And I know we're probably just gonna give away most of all this stuff, telling you. So if I would probably talk about a random thing, 2 random things in my mind. Well, but it's my birthday, by the way, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is today is August 11th, 2021, and my birthday is tomorrow. I'll be 51 years old. Wow, telling you. Some of you who watched my video, like the last video, my old video of August 11th, 2001. Can you imagine that? That was only a month away that the terrorist attack in the New York City was gonna happen. And it's like I had a month. I had a chance to tell everybody that it was gonna happen, but how am I supposed to know that was gonna happen? Like in 2001. So yeah, you probably guys noticed my haircut. I got a haircut. I'm telling you. So one thing I would probably bring up on my two random things to talk about. Well, it's like seems like right now the jobs are really easy to get. Jobs are like, I mean, everywhere I go. I mean, there's a hiring now sign posted everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere these days. It's like the way I look at it is jobs are really easy to get. I mean, and I think the bottom of all this, I think the bottom of all this, it's to do with the government. You know, like how very helpful they are. You know, like all the, you know, that's what I'm hearing. You know, like, you know, because I always heard so much about the, you know, unemployment, you know, like that they're paying major money for unemployment when the coronavirus thing came up and stuff. I mean, they were kind of like overdoing it, like, and then it would make people lazy. I mean, because I've heard about some people who didn't want to work, who doesn't want to go to work because, you know, they feel like they're making good money on unemployment, so they would just rather stay there. I mean, because the way the government system is working, I think it's probably corrupt on that part. I mean, I know they could be pretty corrupt on that because it's making people lazy, you know, like to want to go back to work because they know that they're getting paid good money. That's kind of like a part of the thing I'm hearing, you know. But the thing is, one thing I have to say about that, I mean, it's not going to be forever. This is not going to be forever, man. So I would probably think that for some of you who may be taking advantage right now, I think right now, I mean, from my little experience or from my know-how or the things that I kind of feel or sense, the things I kind of sense, I think that, I mean, I feel like that, you know, all this is going to end, you know, sooner or later. There's like pay, like there's big pay, or all the good things in life is gonna end pretty quick. You know, it's gonna end. You know, so I think, you know, right now, like, while you guys, like, for some people, I would suggest right now, like, start looking for a job, and like start looking for a job that you guys might like, and just kind of like start now, because I would kind of feel like, I mean, it's gonna change. Something like that's gonna change eventually, you know. Eventually, you're not gonna get that little benefit anymore of getting paid. That's gonna end sooner or later. And then I feel like something's gonna change. That's what I think is gonna happen. Something's gonna change, and eventually, like, people are gonna want to start looking for jobs now because the assistance is gonna end, or I mean, eventually, I mean, something's gonna change, you know, and I think right now is a nice time to go find a job, like a job that you'll like, right, while it's still easy to get anything you want almost. For a while, right now, even forklift drivers, I mean, they're looking for forklift drivers all the time. And right now is a nice time to go get that job, if you want to know how to drive a forklift, because a lot of times they're offering training now. I mean, they're offering like training and free training, whatever they is. Well, before it was not like that for me. Like when I was looking for a forklift job, well, from like few years back, you know, they only wanted experience, you know. But anyway, right now is a nice time to go get a job that you like, because eventually this thing is gonna end. You know, like the big pay, or what is it? I mean, the extra pay or the government pay, it's gonna end, and then eventually is going to call for needing to find a job, and then people will start looking for jobs, and it's going to start filling up. The position is going to start filling up, and then it's going to be harder to get a job going on to later on, you know. So right now is a nice time, you know. I mean, that's my prediction. Right now is a nice time to go get a job and just stick with it, and like go find a job that you like right now, because it's more opportunity to find a job like a type that you like, until like if you wait too long, then there'll be fewer of those jobs that you like available, and then you'll have to stick with something that you don't like all that much and stuff. I mean, that's just my prediction, you know. It's my prediction of the day. Okay, now another thing I have to say, number 2 thing that's at a random, about the housing market, you know, like a lot of people, I keep hearing house is gonna crash, like housing market is gonna crash and burn, everybody's gonna say that you better wait, you better wait to buy a house, but you know what I have to say about that? Housing is not gonna crash. I really don't think so. It's not gonna crash. It might correct itself. The prices might go down a little bit. Yes, it will go down. It might go down, because if they're gonna raise the interest rates, it might cause the prices of the homes to stabilize and maybe go down a little bit. It might just go down a little bit in the next couple of years. I would probably say the housing market probably peaked, but the peak is probably right now. That's the way I think, anyway. That's just what I think, and that's just me. I think the price of houses is peaked right now. It's peaked, but it might go back down to correct itself a little bit. It went up high because it was low inventory, and the coronavirus kind of like did that, but it might correct itself. It might go down a little bit, but over the next 5 years, and it'll probably start going back up, but very slowly. That's my prediction of the day. It probably won't go higher than what it is now, because our house sold for $385. This house sold for $385, and right now it's probably about as high as it's gonna be. But probably I would think that in the next year it'll probably be down to say $350 maybe. And it'll probably stay at that price for maybe a couple years. That's just my prediction of the day. But as far as the housing crash that a lot of people are thinking is gonna happen, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's not gonna crash like 2008 did, it's not gonna happen like that. Because the banks are a little bit more smarter this time, that's what I think, that's the way I think of it. Because the banks in 2008, they were careless on who they lent money to, and they were lending money to people, to just anybody back then, including a lot of people who were not credit worthy. A lot of people were not credit worthy, and of course, that messed everything up. But in today's times, the banks are very cautious, are a lot more cautious now than they were back then. And give you an example of that, the banks are not going to loan money beyond the value of the house. So anything above the value of the house, we're forced to pay the extra, to cover the price of the house above the appraisal. So that's another example. That's one example I could say, but I think I probably like that all the time, all before too. But that's an example on how banks are being cautious, But of course, the banks right now are making sure that people are actually approved to buy a house, yeah. So that's where I know that the housing is not going to crash exactly. It won't crash, but it probably would just slow down a little bit, and inventory will get better over time. So, but when the inventory increases, the only thing that I could think would make the house market crash would be if something drastic happened on the employment, I don't know, how do I explain that? Well, if something it would have to take something drastic to happen. Let's say, I don't know, what can I put as an example? Well, I'm not really sure, but I just know the crash in 2008 happened when people started defaulting because they were lending anybody money, and then even if they couldn't afford, if they truly could not afford the house, they still loaned the money to buy the house in 2008. But in today's times, they're making sure that we can afford the house before they loan us the money, So yeah, but back then, no, and then, that's when everybody started defaulting, because of the subprime loans, and that was 2008, and then that's what happened. But in this time around, I think the housing crash, I know it's not going to crash, but what would it take for the crash to happen, like a Great Depression, like a great economic depression is what's going to cause a crash, but I mean, it doesn't look like it though. I mean, kind of doesn't look like it. Well, because you figure another thing that a good factor that will make the market not crash. It's today's times, today's wages, like the wages are better today than it was. Things have changed, like back then, like back in the 90s, the wages were like $6-7 an hour on the typical, but now in today's times, the minimum wage is like 14 now, so 15. I mean, a lot of places start out with $15 an hour. I mean, even McDonald's, even McDonald's start out with $15 an hour these days, But so as of now, there's a lot of things going. I mean, it's like, how I call it. I just know right now there's a lot of hiring now signs, and I know like it's to do with the people that are getting paid a lot of money for the unemployment because of government assistance, especially, it's especially that, like the, what do we call that? The stimulus. Man, we're getting those left and right, and, that's gonna end eventually. It's gonna end, this stuff is gonna end, and there's government assistance of the unemployment. I mean, that's gonna end eventually, and so that's gonna eventually get people needing to find a job, So right now is a good time for you to look for a job. Right now, I mean, that's my suggestion. Right now, while some of y'all might be kind of happy with what you're getting paid with the government right now. I mean, right now is a nice time because I mean, that's what I'm hearing anyway about why they're always short of workers is because that's just one of the reasons why it's to do with that. I mean, but I would probably think that's what it is. But anyways, well, I guess I have to get ready to go to work in the next hour because I gotta work at 2, and then so yeah. I'm gonna be. So we're gonna be out of here, and we should probably be out of here in a month from now. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways. Oh well. Okay, y'all. I guess I'm gonna get going now. Okay. We'll see ya.